La-di-da-da. Grown woman. Yeah. She see war, she be working with her hands. Yeah, that's a grown woman. Grind for the cause, hustle in advance. Yeah, that's a grown woman. Respect from a man, mind don't expand. Yeah, that's a grown woman. Stack up the bands, spend it on the land. Yeah, that's a grown woman. Woman, pack light and keep your faith right. God first when we aim. It don't matter what the daylight, cause dark gon' come. So prepare in the daylight. Life move quick, it don't wait for your right time. Woman, with your weight like burdens got you worried in a late night. Got you moving slow, grown women, we acknowledge it, grow and then move it on. Let go of all your calluses, learn and then carry on. A grown woman work to balance emotions and weakest moments. I fail plenty like Danny, I pick it up, keep it going. I rise late in the night, my hubby trust in my grind. I serve him love of my life, I pack the sword for the fight. I teach my kids how to live, to love, give, and ignite. Wait, they talking rent, we tryna own. What a real estate. You let us in a room, we gon' renovate. We planting heavy, later harvest on a dinner plate. Wait. Go and watch us innovate. The real ones keep it Benny Frake, sis, never imitate. Got a village full of women with the faith that'll elevate. Grown woman business, we be reppin' with the heavyweights. We on a grown woman business. Why you in your feelings? You could come with us, we be on a whole nother village. And on this level, it's a whole lot of critics. We bring a lot of grown women with us. Respect me like a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman. And we be on a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman.
They should wanna be in our vicinity. With sanity's and body credit, therapy and golly deeds. I'll tell the truth for shame the beast. And make every percent of me an enemy to anything against the king. Queen, girl, you better represent what excellence you grown. Get sure to do it, help you do that on your own. Stay unashamed with your name, all the things you'd overcome. And never refrain from relaying, displaying how it's done. I reckon something missing is the misconception that world life's a hype that won't look like the next one. And all that vain advice, the world disguised as blessed, son. They tell you go do what you want, you earned your session. To be the rudest, to be the crudest, to feed excuses, to bring influence, to speak is stupid, so fluent. You should be moving with order, steps could be ruling with guidance that you like. Even the garden went wild, you know how that ends. Lauren warned us about that nakedness you sporting. Maybe it's boredom, but what our daughters see is important. Look, yo, if you disagree, the grown woman meet at 3. I pray we sway you over TV.
We be on that grown woman business. Why you in your feelings? You could come with us, we be on a whole nother village. And on this level, it's a whole lot of critics. We bring a lot of grown women with us. Respect me like a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman. And we be on a grown woman. You looking at a grown woman. I move to the sound of life. I dance delicately yet deliberately. Twirling through obstacles, I tangle with time. This blackness is an art, as is womanhood. I embrace my beauty. I am loyal, I am courageous. I am a woman, a grown woman. Respect me. Can you hear? You can hear me now. Look at that foolishness. Thank you so much for letting me know that you could not hear me. And I was on a roll, y'all. I was on a roll. All right. Once again, this is Behind the Canvas. But Behind the Canvas of Souls Acrylic. I'm excited that you are here. I'm excited that this is our final episode. This is episode 5. I get to talk with Trisha Bell from ARTSO Indulge. It's a creative agency. I'm excited about it because she is dope in what she does. She's a creative. She is a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur. She just is a grown woman, period, you know? And I'm excited about sitting down with her and talking to her about the work that she's like, oh man, this project is dope. But you don't know the amount of work, tension, stress, frustration, all the ups and downs it takes to go through creating a project and putting it out there. So I wanted to create this series. It's a 5-episode series. This is the 5th one. I wanted to create it because I care about showing people what work it takes to create something, you know. So in the different episodes, I sat down, I talked to the engineer that engineered a lot of the tracks on the project. I talked with the graphic designer who I collaborated with. His name is Stephen Davis. The engineer, his name is Carolina Blue. I sat and I talked with a couple of individuals from my city who worked with video productions, Makisha and Shakif. I talked with my sister last week, and we talked about how she did styling for me for the different music videos. And then today I get to talk to Trisha Bell, and she is the one who really helped me organize my thoughts, because I had a lot of them. I had a lot of ideas, and she said, okay, simmer down. We're going to talk about that process. And she really helped me to just move the way that I needed to move in order to get this project out to you all and showcase my creativity. So, sidebar, if you just came across this video and you have no idea who I am, hello, I am Itina Fareed-Cooke. I am known in this space as AI The Anomaly. I am a recording artist, a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur. I just go all in. I try to live on the principle based off of Ecclesiastes, where it says, whatever your hands find to do, do it with thy might. We have birth and we have death, and we got that dash in between. What are you doing with your dash? I'm trying to live it out the best way possible, and I'm trying to showcase my passion and showcase the biblical principles that I live by. So that's a little bit about me. You can also find out more on my website and different spaces just to get to know me as well. But we're going to dig into some things with Trisha. But before we do that, I want to make sure I give off a couple of these announcements, because it's important that you know these things, that you are in tune to what's happening with me. And, you know, sometimes people want to support, and I want to give people the opportunity to support. If you want to know about merch, I have merch available. We have merch right here. I have the Souls Acrylic merch pack. There's only a couple more left, but within this pack that you see on the screen, there's the shirt. You know, we have shirts, we have the CD, the physical copy. I created a book. Yes, I created a book. It's crazy. I'm thankful to God that I was able to make this happen. It's like a journal, and it has my photography, it has my poetry, and spaces for people to write their own. So I wanted to create something in which people can continue to use and you know, create their own spaces and their own thoughts within those pages. And then I have an art print of the cover of the project, and, you know, stickers and a pen. So if you want to get that merch pack, you can go to my website and find that. And there's these individual pieces that you can buy as well. So if you want to support me in that way, you definitely can go right to my website and purchase it. Check it out. All right. The other thing I want to point you in the direction of, you may have saw the video that I just played, where there was a young lady and she was moving, and, you know, there was poetry. So I wrote and directed that piece. I wanted to create some pieces that showcase what grown woman meant to me. And I wanted to utilize my love for film and my love for poetry, so those two are mixed together. And you're going to see more of that this month, because this is Women's History Month, and I want to continuously to showcase some dope women that I know. All right, so also part of that is I have a creative writing workshop. I want to create a book with you. So these workshops, you're able to come into the space. This is what I do full time. I teach. I have a creative way of teaching. We have a lot of fun in my workshops. And we're going to go through different exercises so that you can create poetry with the other participants. This is collaborative poetry, collaborative writing. And those writing pieces are going to be placed into a book similar to the one that I have available online. And those books are going to be available for purchase, and we're going to have a good time. So if you're interested in writing, if you're a poet, you're an upcoming writer, you want to be part of something that's a little bit different than a concert or something like that. It's just different. I'm trying to find different ways to connect with you all. So if you want to connect with me on a different level, come through, sign up, register. And definitely check that out. Okay, so yes, definitely check those two things out. And stay tuned, stay tuned, stay connected. I'm looking in the chat and I see a lot of familiar faces. I see Lexi, what's up, sis? I see Grace. Grace is one of my Patreon members, and she is a heavy supporter. I appreciate you, sis. Shout out to Amanda, Fire Blaze. Shout out to all of you who came through. I really appreciate you all. Can't really, I don't want to say I can't do it without you, but it would be very difficult to do things like this without the support of individuals who believe in you. So definitely thank you all. All right, so with that's enough said. Let's get into it, because I got my sis who's super dope, and she's going to come through and really school us on a lot of things. I'm telling y'all better get y'all notebooks and get y'all pen ready or whatever, because she's going to teach us a lot about what she does, a lot about ARTSO Indulge, a lot about project management, creativity, and all that good stuff. So welcome to the space, Trisha Bell. What's up, sis?
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Man, so much.
I know. I bet.
Yes, always busy over here.
Man, we got to talk about it. First and foremost, just in case people don't know who you are, how about you introduce yourself to everybody so that they can get an idea of who Trisha Bell is, and also what ARTSO Indulge is about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Trisha Bell, and I'm a creative coach. I've been an artist manager. I've been a makeup artist. I've been, sort of everything. I'm a project manager. So many things that I can't even remember right now. But right now, I am currently a creative coach, and I coach creative music artists and digital creators, just in their creative space, helping them to excel in their craft. I created a program that would, aid in them just getting their stuff together, building their brand, creating just fundamentals that creatives just need. Sometimes they are too much in their head, and don't know how to kind of put things out in order. They don't know how to organize things. So I help with the organization of things. And yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's what I'm doing currently.
Awesome. And you do a good job, sis. You do a good job. But on top of that, you are a mom and a wife.
Absolutely.
You are a mom to how many?
Four.
Four beautiful children. Yes, they are beautiful. When we listen, y'all, when we would have our meetings, her kids would be in the background. Your daughter with all that hair, she's so beautiful. You hear them in the background. It's just beautiful. How you move and shake, sis. So
thank you.
So let's get into it, right? So I have this little, I try to be organized. I have this little, thing we got going on here. So one of my questions that I have is,
How long has ARTSO Indulge been established?
Yeah, so we started technically in like 2007, 2008. And originally, it was only supposed to be a creative arts center. So I really had a idea to kind of create a place or a space for creatives to come and learn how to do their craft. So we wanted to do classes, create events, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Something very, to me, I felt like it was, simple, very like targeted, more condensed. But that's not what it became. We ended up helping a lot of artists who were just in need of help. So I was at a church called Epiphany Fellowship in Philadelphia, and a lot of artists were there. I mean, you had Shaolin, Trip Lee, my husband, Billy Light, a bunch of amazing artists, rapper, poet, dancer, everybody was there. And something that I noticed is that they just didn't have the business side of things
Right.
on point. And I think they also just lacked in being consistent with working on their craft. And me being a theater major and an artist myself, I felt like I could help in some areas. And I just stepped in and offered my services to some people. And it just kind of morphed into me helping, like, just being a manager, an artist manager for some of these artists. And then I think the first thing we did was an event for Bear Fruit. I don't know if everybody's familiar with Bear Fruit. That's my brother, Octavius Newland. And he needed some help trying to get his stuff off the ground. And he put out an album called Fruit Cocktail. And
that's dope.
Yeah, it was so dope. First of all, dope album. If you haven't heard of it, you can listen to it on SoundCloud, I believe.
I'm just feeling the wording, right? Like,
yeah,
Fruit
dope.
Cocktail. Come on now. No, that's
So
fire.
The artwork, fire.
Listen, you know I'm all about it.
Absolutely.
I love all of that.
Yes. So he wanted to do an album release. And this is when Andy Mineo was just be like,
Wow.
so,
Throwback.
It was a bunch of artists on the bill.
First of all,
Yeah.
real quick, sidebar, y'all. So y'all know what that means. She been in the game. This ain't nothing new. This is a grown woman this is years of work. This is years and years of work. This is not, she didn't just step into the game 2 years ago. She's been doing this. She's been doing this. Go ahead.
Yes, and so that was our first event. And it was going off so well.
That's good.
Things were really quickly. And I thought to myself, like, I can do this. I can help artists put their events together. And we also were very involved in the, like, creative side of it. Like, how were we going to push things out? What was the atmosphere going to be like? It was just, I was able to put my whole creative mind into the whole event. So going from that to where I am now, I'm seeing, like, a consistency. I'm helping artists organize, get the business side of things together, but also being able to put my creative mind into some of these ideas as well. Yeah. So going from that event on, I started really working closely with my husband, who is an amazing artist, been in the game for a long time as well. And I just started managing him and working on this project. So when it came to creating, an album or an EP, he would need help organizing all of the things. Sure, he was on a label, but in terms of the administrative side of things, I had that in the bag. I just made sure that, he was putting out, well, at least like finishing his songs on time, making sure that the producers were in touch with him. I was kind of a middleman, speaking to everybody who was a part of the album. All of those the little details that come along with creating an album. And so that was like my first time, and I say kind of executive producing an album with my husband. And I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved just seeing everything come together.
Yeah, that's
going
dope.
From the beginning to the end. I love every part of that.
Yeah, it's a journey, and that
Sure.
has to be a beautiful feeling to start from the beginning and see it all the way through.
Yeah.
As you were talking, you really touched on a lot of these other questions, like what types of projects have you done so far? You touched on that. You talked about some artists and companies that you worked for. Is there any more, artists that you may have worked with, or companies or what have you?
Oh, yes, sure. I worked with ARTSO, helped to create his first tour. That was definitely an experience, but it was great. I also created our first tour that we put out with Humble Beats and Lamppost. So with Beautiful Eulogy, Theory Has It, Stephen Levi, Shylin, and Jason. And sure, it was like a huge thing. I was very nervous about it, but the Lord was with us, and they had a 10-seat tour, and it was great. It was great. Of course, I had its ups and downs and bumps in the road, but it was really great. I've worked with Jay Gibbons and John Gibbs when we did a mini tour for my husband. Bruce Wan and Believe, they were all on this mini tour. I worked with a praise and worship team, which was part of my church at the time, Epiphany Fellowship. They're called ARTSO, and I basically did the whole, project managed their album. It was a live recording, so we organized the live recording. I hosted the live recording, and then project managed the entire album.
Oh my God.
Crazy. Because there was a lot of samples involved. So that whole thing, listen, that was a journey.
I bet. It sounds like it.
It's still a journey.
Yo.
They start to renew stuff.
Wow.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a handful. A whole
For sure.
handful. That's a lot. So you've been in the game for a while, You
Yes,
know
ma'am.
the ins and outs. You're an expert in your field, professional in your field. So
Indeed.
I do want to say, like, one of the things that I want to say is, like, for the artists that they may be watching or listening, I truly believe it's important to have someone of this capacity to be involved in a project. If you're thinking about putting out a project and you have the budget for it, because you have to have a budget, when you're going within a project. I would say it's worth saving and making an investment to have somebody to put their mind and expertise in that area, in that realm, so you can be an artist. And you can have somebody who's moving on the behalf of you, and who has the know-how to make things move according to whatever you guys planned. So definitely it's worth the investment to find a project manager or to find somebody who has the creative juices to make something shake. So this brings us to, like, us. Like, how did we come about, right? So, man, how did we start connecting?
So, I'm trying to remember. Oh, the CHH business chat.
Yes. Yes, and Telegram. Yep.
Yep.
But even before that, I kept hearing your name.
Oh, word.
Yeah, I kept hearing your name, Trisha Bell, T-Bells.
Yeah,
She does this, and that. I'm like, oh, man, she might be somebody I need to connect with.
Right.
So, yeah, and then, you know, with Telegram, the group, seeing how you move within there, and then, you know, as time went on, I guess it's been some years now since I've known of you and have been talking with you. But I made the decision to reach out about the project so you talk to them about how you put together the, what was it called? Where we came together, you did like this whole live stream. You were going to do it in person, but it didn't work out. You did this whole virtual, like, what was the name of that again?
Yeah, the
Excel boot camp. Oh my God. That joint was great.
It was, first of all,
it was stressful, but
it was stressful on my end particular. However, you came in with heat, with all of the fire, all of the nuggets and gems.
Aw.
I mean, everybody talks about it still.
That's what's up.
Like, yeah, it was great.
That's what's up. I was grateful for that opportunity. It's not too many platforms that have that, and this was like for women.
Yes.
But guys were involved too.
They were.
You know, and I just felt like that type of space is needed even the more. You
Absolutely.
know, it was just different. So just to put it in perspective for people, you had different artists and different level artists too.
Yeah.
Wasn't just like these top tier artists, you know, but you had them because they have a certain professionalism and expertise that they bring to the table. But everyone spoke about what they do, what they're good at, and they were giving some gems to everybody. It was good. It was really good. It really
amazing.
was. It was good. So I want to know when the next one is. So
it's coming this year.
That'd be dope.
I'm actually going to hit you up about it.
Oh, please. Yes. Definitely want to be part of that. And so you did that, and I saw how that went, and I was like, let me reach out to her so she can help me get my life in order. Because I knew I had something. This is the thing. I knew that Soul's Acrylic was a gem.
Yeah.
But I knew with the amount of work that I was doing outside of music, I was beginning to feel burdened. Like, man, I'm not going to be able to like do it to the extent that I want to because I just have too many things going on. And I kept telling myself like, yo, I have to get help. I have to reach out to people to help me that I know would be good at helping me. That is that was one of my serious issues, was being vulnerable enough and trustworthy enough for somebody to help me, you know, because I'm the type, like, I'm okay if I let me down. Somebody else let me down, I'm like, dag, I kind of get shut down. Like, I'm very forgiving. I'm very forgiving. I'm very graceful. But then it does something to me internally. It's like, well, let me just keep doing my thing on my own because I'm better off doing it on my own. But I don't think that's a good mindset to have, you know. And I've realized through the process of working with you and a couple of other individuals during this time, how much freedom and how much anxiety can be lifted and released because you have people who know what they're doing help you, you know. So talk about your perspective in working with my crazy self.
No, you're not crazy. First of all, such a pleasure to work with you. The biggest thing that I just admire about you is your focus and your creativity, your work ethic. Like, this woman is a beast. Like, whole beast. I'm not quite sure how she does it all. I know.
I'm still trying to figure it out myself.
But it's crazy to just watch you at work. Like even the ideas that you come up with and, you know, your execution, it's so on point and high level.
Oh.
You know, like I look to you as a standard. I'm like, if AI can do it, I can do it.
Oh, I appreciate
like
that.
for real.
Thank you.
And you know, it's just, yeah, it was a pleasure to work with you.
Oh, thank you.
The one thing that I just kept trying to get on you about is resting.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we both.
Yeah, because we both, listen, y'all, we would meet every Tuesday at what, 9 o'clock? And we both would be up in the screen looking like we
about to fall over.
Listen, ready to fall over and just tired. Like, okay, so what we got on the agenda for today? What we gonna do? But we would push through it. Like we would push through it, and we would wind up being on the Zoom call for like hours.
3 hours, 4 hours.
Man, listen. Oh my God. It was a lot. But it was good though.
It was good.
I enjoyed it.
Absolutely.
It was needed a lot. Remember I came to you, I had like 50 ideas. I was like, look, and then I want to do this. And then look, I think this would be dope if I did this, this, and this, and that. You'd be like, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. But when you going to have time to do all of those things? Right. I was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Let me chill. Yeah. Man,
it was just like dreaming with you, you know? Because the ideas were all great. But, you know, just bringing it in more.
Yeah.
Focusing in.
Yeah. And some things worked really well and some things didn't. Remember, like, we thought that because we were putting together the merch pack.
Yes.
And we were like excited because we were looking at each thing individually.
Yes.
And the book, even though it looked really good with that one cover with the photo, like, man, this is fire. Like, this is going to be good. And then we had the print and then the shirt. Because I was going to have that one photo on the shirt. And we were just like, yeah, all of this is going to be so good. And then Steven put it all together on one sheet. We was like, no, this is not going to work. And then my issues with, like, having my face on a lot of stuff, I was like, I don't know how I feel about having my face on a book. And then the print. And you were like, listen, you just got to do it.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, though. Yeah, I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. I still kind of feel like, but it is beautiful that merch pack. It is really, it's so cohesive. I'm so glad we made that decision to just make everything branded, you know.
Yeah.
That and, you know, a lot of things changed throughout our time.
Indeed.
Drop dates, video things, what was going to be the single, that changed. And we really, like, you know, I would come to you and I would be frustrated, like, oh man, we got to change this. Because I felt the anxiety, like, coming to you, I didn't, like, I'm really strategic. And when things start changing, I'm like, ugh. And then I have somebody connected on something, so I had to keep coming to you like, we're gonna have to change the date. But you were always like, yo, it's all good.
Absolutely.
You know, you'd be like, dag, that don't make sense. But, you know, we just gonna make this happen. You know? It was good. Yeah. It was good. It was the ease of talking to you about things, the comfort that I had in expressing myself. Like, like, I'm frustrated about X, Y, and Z. And knowing that you weren't going to take what I said out, you know, or out of context or outside of the space. Like, I really appreciate that, you know, because that's important to me. Yeah. You know, me being how I am, you know, I needed a safe space to express, like, yo, X, Y, and Z, you know, this is going on or whatever. Or just hitting you up like, yeah, sis, I'm real tired. We just got to be next Tuesday.
Right.
But man, it was a great journey. It was definitely a great journey. What do you feel like were some highlights during this time that we worked together?
So definitely like seeing certain things come together. So that one sheet that we put together.
Yes.
When Steven finished that, I was like, this is amazing.
It was good. It is good.
Of course, the merch tag, but seeing like the videos that you had already created, like when we would push those things out and seeing the responses. Listen,
Yeah.
and I was, I'm keeping track of the analytics, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
the engagement and just like people viewing things and responding. People responding to the shimmy.
Oh man, the shimmy was dope.
The shimmy got him.
The shimmy was it, and it was like we didn't plan that thing. It just happened. I was at the tour and somebody captured it. I was like, "Yo, sis,
Yeah,
we got to do something with this," and it worked. It was good.
It was perfect.
It was
so
good.
Perfect. But the fact that you were able to just do that on the whim and it worked. We pushed it. We turned it into a contest. And, like people was really about it. But I think even just the like coming up to the release of the album, I think I was really nervous about it, but like excited at the same time.
Yeah.
It felt like a relief.
Yeah.
And also just like waiting to hear people's response and how they were going to react to the amazingness of the album. Because the album is amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying it.
I know.
Because
I know you.
Like, that joint is pretty classic.
Thank you.
Really. And I've heard a lot of people say that.
I know. It's crazy. It's really crazy to me. I keep hearing people say that, and you know me, it's like I don't know how to feel about it. Like that's what's up. Like I'm happy about how people feel about the project. But I really feel like everything that happened, and this is why I created the space, everything that happened behind the scenes really is what made it become what it became. Like, I wrote the music. I put my soul's acrylic on it, and I was authentically me. But I think that everything that graphic designer, first of all, the project wouldn't have came out. The project would still be. We would still be waiting for it because I would be relying on me to do it because that's what I normally do is I do everything. I'd have been like, oh man, I don't feel like doing these graphics because I got X, Y, and Z to do. Yeah. But man, I'm grateful that I let go of such a feeling of like, I'm just going to rely on me. Mm-hmm. Not to say like I am open to work with people. Yeah. I'm really open to work with people. I love working with people. But it's like this space, it's a sacred space when it comes to music. It's like, that I really had to let go and allow people to do their thing. And I think that showed me and allowed me to grow so much to where I'm like, like, I don't ever want to do a graphic again. Yo, Steven. Listen. Steven? He was killing it. No. Professional. Man.
He's so professional, quick, but like
on point.
Talented, super gifted.
He took whatever I asked and he gave me beyond what I expected.
Absolutely.
Remember, we'd get stuff back, we'd be like, oh, this is it. This is it. Oh my God. Oh man, when I would get the emails and I would see the stuff he created, I was like, oh my God. I couldn't have done a lot of that stuff. I couldn't have done it. It'd have been too much. It is what it is. We all understand. It doesn't bother me at all. But yeah, man, I'm just grateful. I'm thankful to God that I was able to connect with you and connect with the multiple other people that we engage with through this process. And for those of you who are watching or listening in, like Trish did more than just like help me organize my thoughts and organize my ideas, but you were the middle person managing conversations, you know, checking out, getting me connected for interviews and things like that. Like, yo, you really dope. You know, you really like killed it. And I'm like beyond excited. But tell us about your team. Because it's not just you. It's you got a couple of different people on your team. I see one that just popped up in the chat right now. It's London.
Hey, London. Yeah, so I have London, Nicholson, and Macklin Dion. They are extraordinary people. They're very like just with the ideas. Their mind is just super creative. Love them. London's an expert in copywriting, just coming up with like really dope ideas. Macklin, he's a marketing genius. He's super great. And just his willingness to just step in wherever is needed, you know, for both of them. I just appreciate that about both of them. But yeah, there was a lot of things that would not have happened without them. You know, AI needed a team, but I also did my own team.
True.
So yeah, they work hard, and yeah,
they did. They about that business. I know Macklin was great at like coming up with ideas for the marketing plans.
Yep.
I was so excited about that meeting that we had with him, and me just being able to be free in my thoughts and all of my creative juices. I just put it all out there, and he was able to organize it and really, you know, create this sheet that allowed me to look back like, yes, this is all good stuff. Let's roll it out.
That was Nick, by the way. Nick is he's like a board member of our business.
That's
now,
right.
But he's just a marketing genius. Yes. Nicholas.
Nick.
Such a beast.
Yes. It was good. It was good. Now that I've experienced it and gone through the process, it's like, there's no way that I'm gonna just be doing a project all on my dolo, you know.
Yeah, it's not wise.
Nah, it's not. Not where I am in this situation, you know. Absolutely. It just makes no sense, you know, for me, you know. So I think it was well worth it. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I grew a lot. What I want to do now is I want to talk about best practices when working with a project manager, or, you know, you working with an artist, you know, or let's start off with like, when does it make sense to get a project manager? Yeah,
that's a good question. I think it makes sense when you know that, like, you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. And if you know that administration and organization is not your strong point, and if you're an artist that's been in the game for a minute, and even if you're a newer artist, because a lot of newer artists are in need of project managers as well. But yeah, that administration and the organization, you definitely need to hire a project manager. And if you have the budget, I would not advise hiring someone if you don't have the budget. And sometimes
Amen.
people will work with you.
Well, you can't hire someone if you don't have the budget. It's not gonna work.
Some people may want to help just off the string, but you know, you have to know what you're asking them for. It's a lot of work.
It is
a lot of work. I mean, you're going to be talking with this person every day throughout the day.
Basically.
You know, you're going to have to trust this person.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The communication has to be on point.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah, it is.
Working with a project manager, like communication, and even if it's something you don't like or something you want to change, you have to be able to be comfortable to say the types of things on both sides. You know, yeah, that's huge. That's key.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see. Be open,
Mm-hmm.
because someone like me who has a lot of experience, and I'm not just administration, I'm also a creative mind. So, you know, if you're willing to be open about your creative ideas, I think it's just really good to share with someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And if your project manager is, you know, well versed in the creative side of things, feel free to get that feedback from them. Definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely all important. And I see London said integrity, humility, and execution. I love that.
Absolutely.
It's very important.
Absolutely.
Very important.
Timeliness.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Like
And
project managing anything with 4 children at home during a pandemic.
yes, I know that was so difficult.
It was very hard. And I'm sure AI will tell you, there are moments where it was like, I can't do this today.
Yep.
Like it's just, I can't meet today, or, you know, like this is gonna have to get pushed back, or I'm not able to. It was so many things that, because I know sometimes I can't. It's hard for me to measure what's too much.
Yep.
And if you're used to doing a thing in a different circumstance, you know, you think to yourself, "Oh, I can do this. I can handle this." But this new circumstance, it's difficult. It was very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, even just moving forward for me, I may not be able to do that again to that capacity.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I know it was. Yeah, it was definitely a lot. But I think that the respect that we have for each other and the understanding, being that we both are mothers, we both are wives, we both are creatives, we both are entrepreneurs. Whenever you hit me up, and sometimes I told you, like, sis, you should get your rest. Like, we good.
Right.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah.
And like I understood. And then that's kind of what London said: integrity, humility, and execution. That humility, that understanding, like that had been whack for me to be on some like, no, you're gonna meet today. I don't care. Like, what? Okay, whatever.
Right.
But yeah, man, I understood. I understood to, you know, you being home all day with the kids and trying to get all of this stuff done, and it's a lot. That's so much. But still,
But
you made it happen.
I did, and I wanted to. You know what I mean?
You did.
Like, it wasn't.
You
like
cared about it.
Absolutely.
I loved how much you cared about this. That meant a lot to me because sometimes for me, I hear the baby in the day.
There he is. Thanks.
I feel like for me being so this goes back, and I've learned a lot through this process. I had to really think about these things. This is just me being straight up transparent, and I think it may be helpful for other women. I'm a woman, that's all I can speak towards. But growing up, like, in a household in which, like, my mom was in her 50s when she adopted us, and she Kojic church, very strict. She didn't have a lot of people over. We couldn't go over to our friends' houses. We couldn't have them come over too much, maybe once or twice or so. I was very sheltered in a sense, kind of, sort of. And I think that placed it or made it difficult for me to establish relationships as I got older. I was good. When it came to establishing relationships with women or females, it was always difficult for me. It was easier for me to rock with the guys. I was that tomboy. I was that one that hung around the guys and played football and basketball, and I felt comfortable and things like that. And so as I got older, I tend to shy away from it. And I began to not like that as I got older, because I felt like I was missing out on some beautiful relationships with some dope women. And so I had to shake out of it. This one play I was in called For Colored Girls really helped me, because I was surrounded by women who looked like me, who came from similar experiences. We during the time that we worked together on that production piece, like, we bonded so much, and I felt like, man, I've been missing out on this. I unloaded things that happened within me that I never unloaded to anyone ever, and it felt so free. And I began to feel like I need to establish more relationships with women so that I can grow. I feel like women who may be like me, where coming up, it's like, I don't rock with females. This kind of idea of like, I can't trust females, or I don't rock with them. Like, nah, you got to let that go. You got to miss me with that so that you can grow, build, and be free. Yes, people may let you down. It's going to happen, but that shouldn't take you out your character. That shouldn't halt you in developing and pushing past whatever feelings you have. And if somebody make you feel a certain way, you could go to that sister and say, hey, sis, I feel this way or that way. Or what I've learned is approach people with empathy. Like, hey, sis, is everything all right on your end? And then find out what's going on, to realize, this may be the reason that you may have said this or done this or X, Y, and Z. Like, learning how to develop relationships with other women has been the most beautiful journey that I've been on. And this right here, this establishing this relationship with you has even took it to another capacity. And then having the relationship with the ladies within Women in CHH has been another thing, so you just grow, you grow and develop, and you become who you're supposed to be, I guess. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like I love who I'm becoming. I love it because I'm shedding, if you will. I'm shedding. And I know one of the things that was difficult for me was the feeling of vulnerability, because it's out there. It's like, I don't know how I feel about all my stuff out there. Vulnerability and the fear of abandonment due to what I experienced at a young age. I was always afraid that something was going to happen and someone was going to feel a certain way and want to leave. If they want to leave, that's okay. You can still manage and do whatever it is you need to do and move forward, But it's a beautiful thing, man. Just growing and building with other women and being vulnerable, let go in the fear of abandonment, let go in the mistrust or whatever, you know. I think that more women should talk about it.
They absolutely should.
Yeah.
That's grown woman business.
Listen, it is. It is. All the way. It is.
For real.
So, can you share any tips and tricks that you have learned through your journey of being a creative agency? So think about, like, what have you learned throughout some processes that maybe somebody in here wants to, or maybe feel like, yo, I could do this. I could project manage. I can do this. What have you learned? Like, put us on. Let us know. What should you not do? How should you start? You know, let us know.
Yeah, that's a good question.
It is.
I think you have to have a standard for the way that you do work before you start anything. and I think when you have that standard, I think you can create the standard by watching others who are doing what you want to do. And as you're in it as well, your standards change. Sometimes they get more tight or strict, and sometimes you gotta loosen up in some areas. But just having a standard in the way that you work is so important. Having boundaries set in the way that you work, how you work, the times that you work. So important. Being assertive. I know one of the things I struggled with as a woman, owning her own business, being around mostly men, you know, and working in a hip hop industry, that is still hip hop. It's mostly men.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time asserting myself. And so even if you're a man, woman, whoever you are, just be assertive in the way that you're presenting your business. It's just important because it setting that standard for not just yourself, but for your client. That makes sense.
No, I get it.
Setting up schedules for yourself. Don't overwork yourself.
That's a tough one
to do.
It's very easy to do.
Easy to do, especially as a project manager, you know, because you want to make sure that you're getting the job done in the most timeliest of manners. But you don't want to make the mistake of, you know, working yourself to the bone and just being burnt out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
This type of work requires a lot of hours. So it's important to set that time, you know, and try not to go over it too much. Because once you go over it a couple of times, you're gonna keep going over. You're gonna keep that boundary is gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And you know, getting adequate rest. Like I said, it's a lot of hours. So you have to schedule that time of rest in. I think also when you're choosing a client to work with, you need to understand how that person operates. It's very important. And I think building a relationship with them and being intentional about that is super key. Because you're working closely with that person anyway.
True.
And so you're going to have a good rapport with that person. And you want to be comfortable in, you know, how you're communicating and how that person communicates with you. It's a respect thing. If that person doesn't have respect for you, then it's probably not going to be a good situation.
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
not going to work out. It's not going to work out. And if it does, it's going to be very tense.
It will be very tense. And I know this from experience.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking from, you know, a made up scenario. Like, it exists. And it's not fun. But I think that's true.
But yeah, continue on, sis.
Yeah. I'm a very relational person. So it's important for me to be able to, I think those are the most important.
Yeah, that's all good. Like, all good stuff. I think overall it's a matter of understanding self. Understanding self, understanding what you do, and just being bold in it. Understanding value too. Like, yo, like, this is what it is.
Yes.
And I know that's one thing for me. I'm like I told you, before we even stepped into this contractual agreement, I told you straight up, I said, this is how I am.
Yep.
This is what happens. This is how I work. And I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be real with you. Just be the same with me.
Yeah.
And then I said, look, I respect what you do, and I respect the knowledge that you have. Tell me what it's worth. Tell me what it's worth, and whatever it's worth, I'm going to work. If I can do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
If I can't, I'm going to let you know, and I'm going to put my coins together and make it happen. I want you to talk about value proposition. When placing a value on what you do, let people know, because I think that's a very tough one for us as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But I feel, and it's because the reason why I'm going to say what I'm going to say is because all I know is being a woman. And I know as a woman, sometimes it's like more difficult for some reason, or at least I see that. We kind of get like,
Yeah.
In our minds, we're like, it really costs this, but I really want to work with this person. I'm afraid that they might not make the move if it's too high for them. It's like, yo, no. It's worth what it's worth. It is what it is. And you have to be so strong in that and letting people know. And they'll either respect it or they don't. Or they respect it and they can't meet that value proposition. Right. And it is what it is. So talk to us about your perspective when it comes to value proposition and placing value on your services.
Absolutely. The thing is, when you do the research and understand what your work is valued at, I mean, by the hour. Some people charge by the minute, stuff like that. You got to do that research. And when you find what you do is worth, it's okay to accept that. And I know it's hard to, especially as believers. Let's talk about that too.
My goodness,
because we run into a lot of
finna sip my tea.
People. Listen, I'm just being real.
It is.
We run into a lot of believers who don't want to pay anything, really.
Listen,
a lot of times.
And then they call it favor when you give breaks. Like, oh, God has found favor on me. Like, no. I mean, sometimes, God may find favor on you to get you certain opportunities or certain circumstances. And the way that I look at it is how you steward yourself, right? How you steward your life because of the way in which you move based off of the biblical principles and you keeping that firm.
Absolutely.
Certain things will fall into place.
Yes.
Just because of the way you move. But
That's
don't be going around expecting, if someone says, it costs $1,000 to do X, Y, and Z, you don't got the $1,000, you can't. I personally feel like people need to not be on some, well, I guess, this ain't for me. God didn't set up this situation for me. Maybe you just need to stack up some coins. Like work hard, hustle, grind, and then make something shake. Stop blaming it on stuff like that,
Absolutely. And you got to put in the work to earn them coins so that you can pay for the things that should be
paid for.
Right.
Right.
Period.
Right.
And I'll say this too. for that service provider, you need to be able to have proof that you're worth what you're asking for. I think that's also
Preach.
very important.
Preach. You got to have a resume.
You better have a resume with like things that you can see, like data.
Yes.
That we can measure.
Yes. Analytics. All of that.
Numbers need to be on there.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
It's very important.
It is.
Because I think that adds to being confident in what you're worth.
Factuals.
Yeah.
It's all facts. I deal with it a lot within my my line of work. And especially earlier on, where I've made a lot of mistakes earlier on, in that I said certain numbers based off of my assumption of the person.
Gotcha.
Like this is, I know that I'm worth this, but I don't think they'll be able to meet this. Yeah. So I'm going to say this. And if they say no, then I'll do this. Like, no, what? I had to learn so much about value, like valuing myself. Same. Because then you lower your rate. They get the same, how they get the same service, and you lower your rate. That that's not gonna work, because that lower rate ain't gonna put no food on the table. Hello. It's not gonna pay no bills. Right. And then you get the individuals who are like, I just want to collab with you. I want to partner with you. And this opportunity will expose you to X, Y, and Z. Like, listen, exposure never paid my bills.
Okay.
Exposure never put food on my little baby girl plate.
Okay. You talking about women who got kids, a family?
Sis, you got 4 kids.
Girl, no,
and a whole husband.
A whole husband who eats well.
Everybody eating.
Everybody.
We gotta buy the things.
Yes. So you know? Money.
Yes. And so I had to learn over time, like, I'm not gonna get anywhere if I don't value myself. I know my worth. And I have to stand firm in that. And listen, and I also learned, like, okay, let's say it costs, I'm throwing a number, $500 to do something. And whatever the scope of work is, it costs $500 to meet your expectations within your scope of work. But you say, you say you got $250? Then it sounds like we need to lower your scope of work.
That part.
I'm not going to give you $500 worth of services and you only have $250. Right. Like I always say, when you go into Best Buy to get you a nice new washer and dryer, and you go up to the sales rep and you say, hey, show me your washer and dryers. And they show you one, and it's $1,000 for the set, which would be a good deal, by the way. That would be a real good deal, depending on what it is. Let's say it's a Samsung one with all the little gadgets. But anyway, that's besides the point. Let's say they show you a good one. You like, man, I like that. It's $1,000 though. Hey, can I get this? Can I get this for $750 instead? They gonna look at you like you need to go in the $750 aisle. Right. Over there. Right. You can't get this for $750. Now I understand, like, goods and services can be different, and perhaps services can be negotiated, but I always say, I'm not going to lower the rate. We're going to lower the scope of work. Right. Like, you'll still get quality work, but you just might not get the, the glitz and glam that, $500 would get you. But it took a long time for me to conjure up the confidence to stand firm in that. But once I started doing that, people started to respect it. A higher, what would you say? Like I
guess the quality of
clients, right?
Yeah. I mean, not saying that people who can't pay it aren't high quality.
Right. Not trying to say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just in terms of, what is being offered.
Right.
They're able to give you
what
what
you're
you're
worth.
asking.
Right.
That's it.
Man, it's so important to value yourself. But like you said, you could value yourself, but just make sure your resume lines up. Make
Right.
sure you can showcase to people, this is what I've done at this capacity. Excuse me. And this is why it costs X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely.
You know, it's so
'Cause
important.
I think people get that mixed up. Just I had to say that because you know you can't. Yeah, just make sure that experience is there and you can prove what your work. Yeah.
Facts. Somebody in the chat just asked a double question. Do you as a manager, basically, are you afraid to fail a client?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that is, and I think that's why it's so important for communication to come into play because if there's an expectation there that I'm not aware of and I'm not meeting it, then that's a problem, right? And if they're not saying to me, hey, can you do this differently or whatever, because that would really only be the way that I would fail it. Because if you're asking me to do something, or you haven't asked me to do a particular thing, and you just assume that I was supposed to do that thing,
right?
And of course, I'm going to fail you. So it's just important for that communication to be there. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Fear is there.
The follow-up was client being AI. Do you place insecurities on manager before finished product? No. The way that I look at it, I enter into, this is what I've learned to do because I knew I had issues with trust. I don't like the anxiety of someone messing up. Like, I'd rather it be me. I'd rather mess up, you know, then I could be hard on myself because I don't want to be hard on nobody else. You know what I mean? I don't want to place, you know, these astronomical, ideas on someone else. But in order to grow, you have to step outside of that thinking. You have to be vulnerable. And so the way that I approach circumstances of this magnitude is the biblical approach. So, you know, I want to be treated a certain way, so I'm going to treat the individual that I'm working with a certain way, you know? So so that meant I had to communicate with you as best as possible from the jump. I felt it was absolutely necessary for me to have a conversation with you, to be open and transparent, to let you know, sis, I'm OCD.
Yeah.
Sis, I'll be having mad ideas, and sometimes I need to simmer down. You could tell me when to simmer down.
Yeah.
I also told you, I said, sis, never be afraid to tell me if I'm in a wrong or if I need to do something or I drop the ball. Let me know. 'Cause I don't feel bad about it. I want to grow. I just laid out because I know who I am and I know how I operate. And I think it's imperative if you're going to work with me on something like this, I got to let you know. This is how I move. How do you move? And how can we move together in unison? And whatever weaknesses I may have, you may have the strengths that I need in order to balance. Right. Whatever weaknesses you may have, I may have the strength so that we can balance. And so that's how I approach this circumstance and every circumstance. I approach friendships, relationships, like, even in my company, if I'm dealing with a client and I failed, I've messed up, but I pick it up and I keep it moving. That's why I made the song Grown Woman. Yeah. You know, I failed, a lot. I failed plenty like any. I pick it up and keep it moving, and I do whatever I have to do in order to regain or move or grow. So, and with my clients, I'm going to handle them how I want to be handled.
Absolutely.
I want them to feel like, dag, like she thought of everything that I needed. And if a client doesn't like something, hopefully they communicate, like you said, like, I don't know what I don't know. If I failed, it's because you ain't let me know something at this point. Because I want you to feel like I'm handling you the best way possible. When you leave me, I need you, if you're going to choose someone else in the future, which you are, that's absolutely fine to do. I want you to leave me educated. I want you to leave me knowing, like, I know what I need.
Yeah.
And I want you to make sure you get it wherever else you need to go. So I want to handle people the best way possible.
Yes, good.
Money said, as a manager, do you place insecurities on your team trying to produce a client's vision? Ooh, somebody asking some good questions. Fire Blaze.
Okay, Fire Blaze. No. I definitely, I want to make sure I answer the question properly. Can you tell me the question one more time?
So, I'm going to translate it a little bit.
Okay.
I believe what the question is asking, like, do you place insecurities on your team? Like burdens, perhaps. Right. Like your fears, like, let's say I have fears, like, I don't think you could get this done. And do you then place that? Because sometimes you may have feelings like, right, I know that this might not work out with this person, but you're not going to move with them or talk to them, in a way in which you're, it's like you're placing that burden on them. I think that's what they're asking.
Yeah, no. A lot of times I'm learning to delegate better, but a lot of times I will just, like, even if I feel that burden, I'll suck it up and do it anyway. Like, that's just me. It's just, that's how I work. But I'm thankful that I have a team that I can lean on. And if it's something that they're able to do, they're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why they're there. But generally, with the burden, I'm just going to do it myself.
Yeah.
And that's just real talk. But I don't advise that. I would say utilize your team in the best way you can. Share. You can share with them, like, man, I feel a little pressure, maybe some burden here. Sorry, my daughter is crying. But utilize the team that you have, if you have one.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to read these last two comments from London. London said, love this convo, ladies. It's beautiful to see the synergy and the process and growth, even throughout the project timeline. I'm inspired and encouraged for real. And then she continues to say, Trisha cares about her team more than herself. Yo, so facts. Sometimes, but that's why we try our best to push her to self-care at high priority, but she's always honest. Yo, sis, you sound like me, dude. I'll be on some, like, listen, I'll be thinking, because, like, with you, I was like, girl, how are you doing all of this? Like, go to bed. Like, I was so happy you took February to yourself, even though I know that you did not in certain circumstances, because I saw you were still working. I saw you. And I would check in on you to see, like, you really doing what you said you gonna do? Nope, you working. But you got some rest.
Yeah. But more than I did before.
Yeah, and that's good. But yeah, sometimes we tend to think of others more than ourselves, and that's difficult with individuals that move that way. We're the type to, we know that we should put the oxygen mask on ourselves first. But we're like, but hey, this person need this. They need it. But yo, we have to put the oxygen mask on ourselves. I want to give you the opportunity to talk about this amazing program that you have with your company. I want you to let everybody know about it. I'm just kind of getting it set in the background. I want to be able to showcase this.
Yep.
I think I have it up. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with ARTSO Indulge that people probably need to step up and sign up for.
Yeah. I'm doing I created a school called ARTSO University, and within the school, I'm doing a 4-week session. It's a group coaching session, and I'm just inviting creatives to come in and learn the basics on how to get organized, how to build their brand, and how to just create revenue. It's easy to say, yo, you got an idea, just do it. Just put it out there. But trying to figure out how to do it and best practices and how to market what you're doing, how to create the content for what you're doing. We're going to talk about all of these things. You can have an idea and have 5 different ways to create revenue from that one idea. So we're going to be talking about all of that. So I'm really encouraging Christian creative, because a lot of us don't really know how to do any of that. And so you can sign up at artsouniversity.teachable.com and sign up, enroll in the coaching session, and let's get it popping. I really want creative to do this. I think it's just going to be helpful and educational.
Yeah, it sounds dope. I just dropped the link in the chat, and I was able to share the flyer. Definitely sign up. I think it's well worth the investment to do so. Take your career to another level.
Absolutely.
Take your craft to another level. Take this serious. Do something that's going to take what you do to another space, and be something that can be respected. I always feel like people need to stop just creating projects and putting them out there, and like go through a whole process of making it. In my opinion, I think you should make it a movement. In order to make a movement, there's a lot you have to do. I think it's easy to just put music out. That's easy.
For sure.
It's real easy. Just
easy.
Get a good beat. If you got, skill or talent, you can put some music out there. It's another thing to take someone on a journey. From every part of it. London said people still asking about XL Bootcamp. Yep, stay connected. 2021, level up. Hey,
listen, the XL Bootcamp 2021 is going to be lit.
Listen.
So I need y'all to be there.
I already know it's gonna be fire. So let everybody know your contact info and how people can follow and whatever.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm T-Bells on all platforms, but ARTSO Indulge is also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can email me at hello@artsoindulge.com. If you have any questions about the group coaching, do not hesitate to hit me up.
Dope. So I just threw some, check it out. There is another question in here. I'm gonna ask this question, and then we're gonna end it all. If you had to put out an item to reflect you as a brand, what would it be for you, Trish?
An item?
Yeah.
Well, glad you asked. If you go to shop.artsoindulge.com, you can purchase a hoodie, a sweatshirt, or a mask. But I would say the one shirt that embodies me as a brand is the t-shirts and the hoodies and the sweatshirts that say excellent. Excellent is like the standard that I live on.
Nice.
I try not to work to be perfect, but to be excellent in all that I do.
Love it.
So please purchase an excellent hoodie or a sweatshirt or a t-shirt, and rock it. Rock it as a reminder to yourself. This is how I'm going to live. This is the standard that I'm living by. This is the standard that I'm creating by, with excellence.
Yes.
Not just putting out mediocre or anything.
Yes.
I'm going to be excellent in everything that I do. Period.
Absolutely. I love it. Yo, sis, this is it. I think there's so much that we have discussed here. Good information, heavy information, very valuable information that I feel like people could walk away with, and make moves. I feel like people may have gained a lot in this space. It was I'm excited to have had you in this space behind the canvas, letting us know a little bit about what you do as a project manager, as a creative, as a founder of ARTSO Indulge, how you move. And I really hope, obviously, I hope the best success and, all of that for you. I don't know if there's anything else you want to share before you step out. I do have a couple of things that I want to announce, but if there's anything else you want to say, you can.
I think I'm all good.
Yeah, you see.
Y'all better count that album, Soul's Acrylic.
Soul's Acrylic. Get that.
Stream it again.
That's right. All right, sis. Thank you so much. I'll probably hit you up on Telegram just to say thank you again. Chop it up with you. Yes, we do. Because it's March.
It is March.
I've been looking at my calendar.
I know you have.
It's like, all right, I'm not going to bother. I still bothered you a couple times, but.
All good.
But thank you so much, sis, for chopping off some time to chop it up with me.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, sis, take care. Have a good night. Tell the family I said thank you for allowing us to have you here and have your time.
Absolutely.
All right, good night.
Good night.
All right, there you have it. Trisha Bell, founder of ARTSO Indulge. She's amazing, obviously, as you saw. Has a lot to offer. If you're interested in knowing more about her, you have the links in the chat. Definitely go check that out. If you know anyone who would need services from her, share the link. Share it. Yo, man, there's a lot of dope women out here. It's the month of beautiful, dope entrepreneurs, artists, just a bunch of grown women doing their thing. And I'm blessed to know a lot of them and be in the space that a lot of grown women exhibit or take up, the space that they're in. So yes, stream Soul's Acrylic. Purchase the CD. I do have physical copies of the CD. Go online, check it out. Definitely, like I said, check out the merch. Make sure if you see something on this merch pack that you like, go to my website, aitheanomaly.com, and check it out. If you're interested in supporting me in that way, definitely go do that. This is your way of supporting me, if you'd like to support. Another way to support me is that you can become a patron member. I got a Patreon page, right? And I'm able to create what I do here within this space, but my passion is really with serving youth. And so every contract that I earn, a portion of those proceeds go to just developing programming for young people. And so the proceeds that I am able to get because of supporters, I'm going to be pouring it into a program that we run at my church called Mentoring Your Attitude. We're going to be starting that up again, another series of it. Students are going to learn about photography. They're going to be developing photos and working together as a team. We're going to be teaching them soft skills, life skills, practical skills, technical skills. My pastor, shout out to Pastor Stephen Foreman of Christ Crusaders Assembly. That's the church that I'm a member at and have been I've been a member there for 10 years. And we have a program, like I said, where we teach youth soft skills, life skills through culinary arts. My pastor is an executive chef, so he teaches young people about culinary arts. I teach young people about photography, film, video, creative writing, and then we have other partners who come in and teach as well. So we just want to fuel that program with the monetary needs, so that we can continue to do that at free of charge to their parents and to the students. So I'm going to be pouring the proceeds into that program. And so on a Patreon page, you're able to see the different things that we will be doing there. So I'm excited. Definitely check that out. Keep in connection. I do share things on IG, but my Patreon members get to see things first. They get to check out videos. They saw grown woman video before everybody saw it. They're going to see the other videos that I'm going to be dropping. They're going to see that first. That's priority. Those who support me, obviously, they're going to be priority. So if you want to be part of that all-night crew, definitely check it out. I'm going to pull up the link for that so that it's really simple to get to, so that if you're interested, you can just click the link and become a member. I'm going to throw that in the chat really quick. Boom, boom. So I got my shop link in there. I got the Patreon link in there. And the one last thing that I want to share with you all is the link to my creative writing workshops. I want to create a book with y'all. Come on. Come through. Create with me. You a writer? You want to be a writer? You like to write? Come through to the creative workshops. I have a Grown Woman Challenge happening right now, so if you want to win a ticket, sign up or you don't even have to sign up for it. You just create a video expressing what you feel like a grown woman is or what it represents. So you can do poetry, you can do a rap, you can just get in front of the camera and say what you feel about what grown woman means to you. I want people to be as creative as possible. I will be releasing some videos, kind of like example videos, like, hey, you can do this or you can do that, just to give you some guidance. But I really want it to be free and up to the individual who wants to enter in the contest. First place winner is going to get to choose 2 things from my merch shop and a physical CD, and you get a ticket to the creative writing workshop. The second place winner, you're going to get 1 thing from my merch shop, and you're going to get a ticket to the creative writing workshop. So please do your thing, be creative, go out here and make moves. Listen, what I'm going to leave you with is that creative visual that I did with the poetry, and it's poetry and it's just beautiful visuals. I'll be putting out more like this as the weeks come further. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate each and every one of you.